Hello dear colleagues. Nice to meet you again. In this session, we are going to talk about a highly effective cooperative learning method called hanging mobiles. This method is particularly effective in elementary classrooms because it caters to visual and interactive learning styles. In practice, this method can be implemented by hang mobiles that show story elements in 3D format. It is an effective way to teach vocabulary, grammar, and different skills such as reading, writing, and speaking. The teacher presents each part of the story as a separate mobile. Each mobile contains all the information about that part of the story. Then the teacher asks questions about the story and the students answer them. For example, what happened first? What happened next? Who are the characters in the story? What did the character do? What did the character say? After each question, the corresponding mobile is placed in the correct sequence. Before starting the activity, the teacher should consider the following things. The activity should be age-appropriate and interesting for the students. The activity should incorporate student input and allow them to work together. The teacher should use colorful, tactile, and visual materials to reinforce concepts. The teacher should give students an opportunity to reflect on their learning and provide feedback. Students should have the opportunity to present their work. Here is an example of how you can use hanging mobiles in your classroom. To begin, write the main parts of the story on separate pieces of paper. Make sure that each piece of paper is large enough to be seen by all students in the class. Color each piece of paper and make it attractive to the students. Cut out pictures from magazines or draw pictures on each piece of paper. Ask students to stand up and move around the classroom while you read the story aloud. After you finish reading, ask students to stop and think about the story. Ask students to work together to put the pictures in the correct order. As they work, circulate around the classroom and observe the students. When they finish, ask each group to share their story with the class. You can also use hanging mobiles to review vocabulary. Write each word on a separate piece of paper and make it colorful and attractive. Divide the class into groups and assign each group to one mobile. Ask each group to think of as many sentences as possible using the vocabulary words. Give each group a marker and let them write the sentences on their mobile. After each group finishes, ask them to share their sentences with the class. Another way to use hanging mobiles is to teach grammar. Write each part of the grammar rule on a separate piece of paper and make it colorful and attractive. Divide the class into groups and assign each group to one mobile. Ask each group to work together to complete the sentences using the correct grammar. After each group finishes, ask them to share their sentences with the class. This method is effective because it allows students to learn in a variety of ways. It also allows students to work together and learn from each other. In addition, the use of color and visuals makes the learning process more engaging and fun for students. To make this activity even more effective, you can use realia or bring in objects from around the classroom that represent the vocabulary words or grammar rules. For example, if you are teaching about colors, you can bring in a red ball, a blue book, and a green pencil. If you are teaching about food, you can bring in an apple, a banana, and an orange. If you are teaching about clothing, you can bring in a hat, a shirt, and a pair of shoes. It is important to note that not all students will grasp the concept of using mobiles to learn right away. Some students may need additional support or enrichment. For example, you may need to work with students one-on-one to help them understand how to use the mobiles. You may also need to provide students with more challenging activities to keep them engaged and motivated. We hope that you enjoyed this video and that you will try using hanging mobiles in your classroom. We would love to hear about your experience using this method with your students. Please share your thoughts and any tips you have with us in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we wish you all the best in your teaching journey.